Hey everybody, John Woolworth here. Many of you have probably wondered what the subject of this channel actually is. I've got content about travel and photography, and even some how-to videos about fixing trailers. Well, let me start by saying I've been a visual storyteller for the last 20 years now. I started in professional photography, and as I continued in that pursuit, I also moved into video and some writing as well. So basically, I'm a professional storyteller. Consequently, everything with this channel is loosely built around either storytelling through photos or video, or about the process of getting to the places where those stories are happening. There's some travel, some hiking, even some cruising videos, but they are all about going places where I can get great content. I've done travel and stock photography, weddings, commercial projects, journalism, you name it. If it involves telling a story, I'm involved. Well, a couple of years ago, my work with a nonprofit called Petros Network became my career. This involves doing a lot of travel, mostly to Africa, and telling the story of what's happening there. I still do a lot of personal projects while I'm back home, but most of my favorite content now comes from East Africa. In the past year, I've been to Ethiopia twice, going to several different regions, including the remote tribal regions down near the borders of Kenya and South Sudan, both of which I've also been to at other times. I also spent some time in Uganda as well. I spend so much time working on photos and video professionally that I rarely take the time for myself to go through and just find what images struck me the most. So that's what I'm doing now. I've gone through the photos I shot in the last year to see what my favorites were, and a large number of them were from Africa, but also had some from wedding and engagement photos that I did, and a little bit that I was hired for a commercial job for. I also traveled to the Caribbean last year, so there was a little bit of that as well. One of the cooler things that happened was something on a personal note. I learned photography on my dad's old Exacta camera from the 1950s. It was an old film camera built in East Germany, and that hasn't worked in decades. I have a lot of old lenses for it though, and some of those are really high quality. Well, I recently upgraded one of my Canon cameras, and when I did, just due to the nature of how it was put together, I was able to get an adapter to use my father's old lenses on the new camera. So it's really cool to be able to use my dad's lenses and honor him in that way, and at the same time to get some really amazing pictures. There are a number of my favorites this year that were shot with his Zeiss 75mm 1.5 lens that was built in 1950. So I've narrowed my favorite photos down from the past year, and I hope you enjoy them. Many of them are from Ethiopia, some are from Uganda, some are from the Caribbean, and some from back home here in the eastern United States. I've chosen these on a couple of different criteria. Some of the landscapes were chosen simply for their stunning beauty of the place themselves, but most of these pictures were chosen for their ability to tell a story without you knowing anything about them beforehand. If you enjoy this channel, please consider subscribing. The vast majority of people who watch this channel are not subscribed, so click the subscribe button and get notified when I come out with new content. I'm also going to put a link to the Petros Network YouTube channel where I work. Give them some love, give them a thumbs up, and subscribe to them as well. So you can see some of the other stuff as well as what they do. They do some really great work around the world. As usual, I appreciate each of you, and until next time, enjoy the rest of my favorite photos of the year.